Hello everyone, today we are going to study chapter number 5, Major Domains of the Earth. In this chapter, we will speak about the three main components of the environment. They are lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. Lithosphere is the solid portion of the Earth on which we live. So lithosphere is nothing but the rocky bed that lies beneath your feet. Similarly, the gaseous layers that surround the Earth is the atmosphere, where oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and other gases are found. Hydrosphere. The hydrosphere comprises all forms of water, that is, ice, water vapor, and the liquid water. Now, when all these three components are combined, we get biosphere. Biosphere is nothing but the combination of land, water, and air. It contains all forms of life, that means all the living organisms that are present on planet Earth. Now let us study about lithosphere. As we have said, lithosphere is the solid portion of the Earth. It is the Earth's crust. Earth is divided into three layers. The innermost middle layer is called the core, where you will find lava. And above that there is the mantle, and then we have the crust. So lithosphere is the crust. When we talk about Earth's surface, it is divided into two main divisions: the large land masses known as the continents and the huge water bodies called the ocean basins. On figure 5.1, that is on page number 31 in your textbook, we can see all the oceans of the water are connected with one another. There are 5 oceans: Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Arctic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and Southern Ocean. The level of seawater remains the same everywhere. Elevation of land is measured from the level of the sea, which is taken as 0. So mayroon siya to sea level to koy muna po ay nga. Tuan tlang sanzong te du taila koy chunga kanti ang. Do na atang kan te top tailaw ni. So bang tuan sea level atang kan te chan 3 na ni 2 0 ni. Tlang sanzong kan te don tuan sea level 0 atang kan te chawang. So tiang bokin tui thuk zong kan te du tuan sea level atang bokin sea level 0 atang kan te thamay don ni. So the highest mountain peak, Mount Everest, is 8,848 meters above the sea level, and the greatest depth of 11,022 meters is recorded at Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. Now let's study about the continents. We have 7 major continents. They are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. Let's briefly go through each one of them. Asia. Asia is the largest continent. The Tropic of Cancer passes through the continent, which passes through India, and India is in Asia. And Asia is separated from Europe. This is Europe, this is Asia. It is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains here. This is the Ural Mountains. The combined land masses of Europe and Asia is called Eurasia. Next, we have Europe. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The Arctic Circle passes through it and is bound by water on 3 sides. Next, we have Africa. Africa is the second largest continent. We must remember that it is the only continent through which Tropic of Cancer, Equator, and Tropic of Capricorn pass. And this continent also has the Sahara Desert, which is the world's largest hot desert, and the world's longest river, Nile, flows through Africa. Next, we have North America. North America is the 3rd largest continent of the world and is linked to South America by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. Here, what is isthmus? Isthmus, a narrow strip of land joining 2 land masses. We have North America here, South America, 2 land masses is joined by a very narrow strip of land that is called isthmus, and we have a strait. A strait is a narrow passage of water. This is land, this is water. Passage of water connecting two large water bodies like seas and oceans. We have the Bay of Bengal here, we have Arabian Sea, and there's a narrow passage of water that is connecting these two large water bodies, and this is called strait. Name the strait between India and Sri Lanka. The strait between India and Sri Lanka is called Pulp Strait. Now coming back to North America, it is surrounded by three oceans. They are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. And North America lies completely in the northern hemisphere. This is the equator. North from the equator is called northern hemisphere. We all know that. And you can see the North America lies completely in the northern hemisphere. Next we have South America. South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere, and the longest mountain range called the Andes is found here. If you can see here, this red line, this is Andes Mountains. It also has the world's largest river, the Amazon. Not the longest river. The longest river is River Nile that is in Africa. This is the largest river, that is Amazon. Next we have Australia. Australia is the smallest country and lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. This is equator, this is Australia. If you look here, it is surrounded by the ocean on all sides. Therefore, it is also called the island continent. The only island continent is Australia. Next we have Antarctica. Antarctica is completely in the southern hemisphere, and it is a huge continent. And it is all thick sheets of ice, and in fact South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent, and nobody stays there permanently. People just goes there for research purposes. Hence many countries have their research stations over there, and India too has two famous research stations in Antarctica, and they are called Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. Hydrosphere. In chapter 1, we studied that the Earth looks blue from space and is called the blue planet because 71% of the Earth is water and 29% is land, and the oceans are the main reason for this. Hydrosphere consists of water in all its forms like rivers, lakes, geysers, waterfalls, water vapor, underground water, ice. All of these comprise the hydrosphere. Almost 97% of the Earth's water is from the ocean, but ocean water is salty water. Only the remaining 3% is non-salty water, that is fresh water. We find fresh water in ice, rivers, and under the ground. Hence, despite being a blue planet, we face a shortage of water. Oceans. Oceans are the major part of hydrosphere. The ocean water are always moving. The three chief movements of ocean waters are waves, tides, and ocean currents. Waves are a small movement of water, and tides are the bigger version of waves, and ocean currents are much bigger than waves and tides. Ocean currents can also be the reason behind tornadoes and heavy storms. 5 major oceans are: number 1, Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean and it is spread over 1/3 of the Earth. Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the Earth, lies in the Pacific Ocean. It is almost circular in shape. Number 2, we have Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean. It is S-shaped. It is also one of the major sources of trade and commerce. The coastline of Atlantic Ocean is irregular and indented, providing ideal location for natural harbors and ports. Number 3, we have Indian Ocean. The Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after a country, that is India. The shape is almost triangular. Number 4, we have Southern Ocean. Southern Ocean encircles Antarctica completely. Number 5, the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle and surrounds North Pole. It is also connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. Atmosphere. The Earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called the atmosphere. This thin blanket of air that surrounds the Earth's surface provides us with the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of the sun's rays. We cannot directly consume the sun's rays because it contains a lot of harmful rays which can burn our skin, which can give us skin diseases. So there is a thin layer of gas that acts like a blanket. This layer of gas is atmosphere. The atmosphere extends up to the height of 16,000 kilometers. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers based on composition, temperature, and other properties. Starting from the Earth's surface are called troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. The 2 important gases that are there in the atmosphere, which make up about 99% clean dry air, are nitrogen, that makes up 78%, and oxygen 21%, and other gases comprises 1% of volume. The density of the atmosphere varies with height. At sea level it is maximum and decreases as we go up. This is why mountaineers experience problems in breathing as they climb higher and higher because of the decrease in the density of air. The temperature also decreases as we move upwards. That means as we climb higher and higher, it will get colder and it will get more difficult to breathe. We must remember that the movement of air is from high pressure to low pressure, and moving air is known as wind. Biosphere. Biosphere is a narrow zone of contact between the land, water, and air. The combination of where land, water, and air comes together is called biosphere. It is in this zone that life exists. If you look at figure 5.6 on page number 36 in your textbook, it has the sky, atmosphere, water, and all the water organisms. Then it has the lithosphere, the land mass, and all the organisms that lives on planet Earth. So everything together comprises of biosphere. This broadly means that everything that is available and that can breathe together form biosphere, and they are connected. In our textbook, this example is given that we cut down trees, forests for our needs, and this action leads to fast removal of soil, or natural calamities like earthquakes may change the Earth's surface and may lead to submergence of land. Emission from industries, vehicles, etc. pollute the air and leads to the increase in global temperature. And this is termed as global warming. Therefore, there must be a control in our actions to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of the lithosphere, atmosphere, and hydrosphere. And we have come to the end of chapter 5.